Today we're going to learn a secure method for putting strings on the bridge end of a classical guitar. And the first tip is if you use the package in which the strings come to protect the top of the guitar right behind the bridge. It's a very common area where you might see some, in fact you can see some dings in this guitar. So if you just put the package right there, that will protect the wood. I'm going to show you how to do the first string. Essentially they're all the same. On the first and the unwound strings, you're going to use a series of wraps to create friction. On the wound strings, you're not going to need as many wraps because the windings themselves will create enough friction so as not to pull the tag end through. But we're going to start by putting the string through the hole in the bridge. And we're going to take the tag end and we're going to go around the standing part 360 degrees. I'm going to go all the way around the standing part and then come up through the loop that I've created. I'm going to do that once, twice, and 3 times on the first string there. I'm going to show you that one more time. Again, I'm going to take the tag end and come around and underneath the standing part, going all the way around so that I'll come up through this loop once, twice, 3 times. Now with my right hand, I'm going to grab the tag end and I'm going to bring it down to the bridge, and I'm just going to try and adjust it so there's just a tad hanging out. I don't want it to be long enough so as to touch the top of the bridge there. And I'm going to now put my finger on top of it and just create a little tension there. With the left hand, I'm going to pull the standing part of the line straight up in one quick movement and lock all those wraps down, and then I'll pull the string toward the headstock of the guitar. And you can see that it is now secured against the bridge, and I have just the tiniest tag end on the back side of the bridge right here, and that will hold it on this end. So now we're going to talk about securing the string at the headstock, and before we do it, I just thought I'd mention I have the side of the guitar, which is the part of the guitar closest to the floor, on the tops of my shoes right now. And that does 2 things. Number one, it secures that part of the guitar, keeps it from wobbling, and it also protects it from scratching on the floor. So you might want to do that while you're proceeding with this operation. We're going to take the tag end on this end and we're going to put it through the hole in the roller. And you'll note that when you're changing strings, the strings follow a horseshoe pattern. If we start with string number 1, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right around the horseshoe like that. So first we go through the hole in the roller, and then we're going to come back over the top of the roller. And this, by the way, is one of many ways that you can use to secure the string. What I like about this method is when it comes time to change the strings, this string will fall right off. There is no knot. So as you unwind it, it will simply come loose right away. So now it's decision time. And as you can see on the other strings, there's a series of wraps that are formed due to the angle of the string coming out of the nut. For example, on the 3rd string here, the string comes out of the nut and it goes off to the right as it goes to the hole in the roller. That's the 2nd string. Here's the 3rd string up here. And because of that, the strings wrap from right to left, from the hole in the roller to where the standing part is right now. And that will vary. Sometimes it's different on different guitars. Generally, classical guitars, usually you're going to go to the outside on the 1st string and the 6th string, but again, there are a lot of variables, so you want to figure it out on your guitar. So on the 1st string here, I'm going to notice that the slot in the nut is to the right of the hole in the roller, and because of that, the wrappings are going to start, of course, at the hole in the roller, and they're going to go left to right. So what I want to do with the tag end is to ensure that that gets caught under as many of those wrappings as possible. So I'm going to pass the tag end underneath the standing part, left to right. And then I'm going to go back over the top of the roller. Now the reason I go back over the top of the roller is I will always roll so that the string is going over the top of the roller, and I'm simply feeding that tag end in advance. So now I'm going to start winding this, and here's another little tip. This little device is called the string winder. It's just designed to make it more efficient to wind that peg. And I'm going to wind, you'll see now I'm coming at 180, and I'm going to give it just a little persuasion. And as I approach 360, you'll see that the tag end is now coming around, but what I need to do is again advance it because I want this tag end to be caught underneath the standing part one more time. And I want to make sure that it's again to the right of the standing part. And I'm going to go back over the top of the roller one more time. And now as I roll this, what I like to do is to make sure that that tag end gets caught underneath there, and you can give it a little help if you need to. And I put about 90 degrees more on there, and it's important that you stop rolling at this point or at some point close to this, because you don't want to bring the string up too high. You can tune the string after you've put all the strings on, of course, but you don't want to put too much tension in the string. So that's a simple method for securing the string at the headstock.